We got to leave a young in the room. Robin Green. Y'all come on. Come on in the room. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love will heal us all. Hey, let me know that love will heal us all. What does that mean? Love will heal us all. Will love really heal us all? Does love have the capacity to heal us all? I think so. I don't know if love can heal this lighting though. All right. Okay, what's going on, girl? All right. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Yeah, come on into the room. It's 6 o'clock. On the West Coast, it's 9 o'clock. On the East Coast, I believe it's 7 o'clock in Mountain Time, and it's 8 o'clock in Central Time. So people are doing a lot of things. Isn't that interesting? Some are just getting off of work. Some getting ready to get into bed. Some are doing their crossword puzzles, and some are putting their teeth in, and some are taking their teeth out. Some are doing all kinds of things. And so we asking you to just to chill and be with us for a little while, to come on into the room and where people love you. We have Sharon Fuller, who just got on in. Everybody on the thread. She's saying hello to everybody on the thread in Flight 8. Greetings, beautiful people. Just keep on coming in because we have a special guest who's here with us tonight. And we have beautiful Sue Lingle, who has set the show up for us. And so we know we have a very powerful hour and some change for some great information to flow, some transforming knowledge to be revealed, and for some just some love to be shared. So welcome to Soul Fulfilling Songs and Conversations. My name is Rickie Byars, and I'm so thankful that you're making the time to come into our midweek meetup where everybody knows our real ID. Our real ID. Listen, if folks knew who they really were, there wouldn't be so much mental illness in the world. Wouldn't be so much sickness. If we knew who we really were, if we really knew it, because if you really know it, who feels it, knows it, and who knows it lives from it. If you know something and you don't live from it, you don't really know it, or you don't really trust it. So you're not as aware inside of yourself as you would be if you could lean into it. And so we're here to inspire you to love more, to love yourself more. And we have the brilliant psychotherapist, singer, artist, healer, incredible being with us tonight. And we're going to take a breath for just a second. Going to stop. And give thanks that we get to do what we do. We give thanks that the Spirit of the living God is filling us up right now. Not just us who are participating in speaking tonight, but you who are listening, and you who make the time to be here. You who walk the journey with me. We walk together. And I'm thankful to know you. I'm thankful that God has brought us into each other's orbit. And I'm thankful for this evening's program and all that we will learn and celebrate. In the name of a living God, a loving God, a whole, perfect, and complete God. Hey, God is good. And so it is. Amen. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. And as I said, we have an amazing being with us tonight. Karen Izzy, how you doing? Maxine Williams, come on into the room. I love the way Sue is right. She's hitting that button. That's perfect, Sue. That's perfect. You got to be able to switch in the stream, baby. So I have an amazing being on with me tonight. Her name is Stacie Aamon-Yeldell. We know her as Stacie. She holds a master's degree in music therapy from New York University and certifications in sound and music healing from the Open Center and Vocal Psychotherapy from Vancouver Vocal Psychotherapy Institute. You hear that? She's got a master's in music, and she's got a master's degree in music therapy, and then she's got certifications in sound and music healing and vocal psychotherapy from the Vancouver Vocal Psychotherapy Institute. With over 15 years, you hear that? 15 years. She just did not come into the room yesterday. With over 15 years of experience in mental health treatment, it is no wonder that she has created a methodology to assist us in aligning spiritually, mentally, and physically with the best inside of us. Choose yourself. A 12-week journey to becoming God of your own heart is hot off the press, and Stacie is sharing her latest triumph with me tonight on Soul Fulfilling Songs and Conversations. So I'm so thankful that you're taking time for yourself to be here with us. And we're here choosing heaven every day. Every day we're choosing heaven. Stacie's telling us to choose yourself, to choose yourself. So we're going to talk to Stacie about the difference between choosing yourself and choosing heaven, and if there is a difference. Hey,
Nope.
Hey, Stacie. Hey, Stacie.
Hi, Rickie. How you doing?
Welcome to
It's
Soul
so good to be here.
Yes, she's here with me tonight. So what's the name of your book? Choosing Yourself?
Yes, choose yourself. A 12-week journey to becoming the God of your own heart.
Ooh, this seems, and I think this is like it's already hit the bestsellers list for the work-life balance category.
Yes.
She's number one.
Number one release.
Number one. Hey, we're happy for you. I'm going to sing a little bit of this song just for you. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. What you choosing, Stacie?
I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today.
Walking the road of heaven right now, singing,
I'm choosing love today.
She's choosing love today. Hey, Yolanda, she says, I'm watching from Big Sky, Montana. Played Rickie's music here on the slopes. Hey, I know you felt good about that. I'm choose up. Let's see. I choose abundance today. I choose abundance today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose abundance today. What you choosing, Stacie?
I'm choosing grace today.
She's choosing grace.
I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, and I'm choosing grace today.
Yeah. She got that little laid back thing. That works. That works. That little hip hop laid back. Come on into the room. Oh, Susan says she's choosing sharing. I'm choosing sharing today. I'm choosing sharing today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing sharing today. If you choose abundance, that's part of sharing. You can't be abundant without giving something, without circulating. Yeah, baby. What's in your house? I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Choosing heaven today. come on. Oh, they're loading in now. Now I can bring you in the room, Stacie.
All right.
Yeah, we weren't going to give this deep conversation until these folks got off of work, or got the teeth out. They got to kind of load in or put the teeth in, getting ready for their date, but then they're going to jump in here just to see what they can, what they can learn. How you doing, Stacie?
I'm doing wonderful now that I'm sitting here with you.
Yeah, I love you so much. And I'm so
I love
proud
you
of
too.
you. I'm so proud of you, that so many of us here know you as a singer. We know the great singer, Stacie Amon, and Stacie Aamon-Yeldell, and I'm choosing freedom. Yes, Mary Monroe. Hey, Alima, Pamela Watson, come on in. She's choosing peace. We're choosing balance today. Hey,
Mm.
now we're choosing some good stuff. Deanna's choosing joy today. Yeah, I mean, and all of that is heaven. All of that
Mm.
is heaven, and all of those virtues, uh, um, they heal us. They are the source of our healing. If you got sickness, if there's something that's off, that's out of alignment, it's because some of that stuff you feel is missing. So talk
Mhm.
to us about your new work. Choose yourself, and what prompted you to write this awesome uh, 12-week journey to becoming the God of your own heart.
Well, first of all, I'm just so grateful to be here, even sharing it, because it's been a labor of love, as most big projects are.
Mhm.
And, as you mentioned, I've been working in mental health, for I guess 18 years now. And I have seen many things in those places. I've worked always in very acute populations in psychiatry, psych hospitals, substance abuse centers.
Mhm.
And it always kind of irked me that there were only some people that can get to those places. Like those spaces aren't fully accessible to everyone. So there's a certain kind of a privilege or even a certain kind of crisis that precipitates being able to find yourself in a center or a treatment of intense outpatient treatment or any of those types of centers. So I really have always wanted to create something that was accessible to all. I
Mhm.
think that's really the main thing is something that everyone can get access to, whether the finances are there, whether whether the privilege, so to speak, is there. And then, of course, there's some people who don't necessarily need to go into those places and don't, feel the need, but still need support.
Mhm.
So I think it was really just about how do I take those 18 years of clinical experience, and then also my own lived experience is very much a part of this work as well, and really place it in a format that can be delivered in service to humanity.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think the fact that it's a workbook is very much connected to how much daily practices have impacted my own life.
Mhm.
Like that's
Mhm.
really been what has been the biggest transforming component to my own growth and my continued growth is
Mhm.
that showing up every day in
Mhm.
that undistracted time with the divine.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I really wanted that to be, I mean, it had to be a part of anything that I would
Mhm.
create,
Mhm.
that be the cornerstone of,
Mhm.
and that's really what the cornerstone of the workbook is. It's, how to create a daily practice when you're busy and, or easily distracted or whatever the reasons are, right? There are a lot
Mhm.
of reasons.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was really my motivation was to really create some accessibility to those people who need the support.
Mhm. What I saw in your book, though, was that meditation was part of it, but there's a whole lot of other things that you are prompting also as well. And but the meditation practice is it's just I just think walking with God, period, is just whatever you call it. You call it meditation, just loving, sitting still long enough to have God love up on you, and for you to
Yeah.
know that you are loved. You got to stop to feel that. You know, in the Old Testament,
Absolutely.
they used to say God is a jealous God, and but that's what they meant. It's not like slap you and go like sit down, Bertha. But it's like, don't look at nobody but me. But it's like I need to contact you.
Hmm.
And in order for me to contact you, you have to listen for me, you know,
Yes.
you know, without something else happening, that is, that other things that can happen, like you say, that can put you in the kind of treatment centers that you've been in, when people have been out of touch with
Hmm.
that, with that, with the God within them. That is the answer to everything. Is
Hmm.
the answer to everything. It's a universal hack, love. Um, yeah. So tell me about the your decisions to make it a 12-week journey, because 12 weeks would end up being about 3 months, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what was your thinking behind making it a 12-week journey?
Well, I really wanted to create a process that really built, continual. And I see it more of like a spiral. So instead of it being a linear, week one, week two, the hope is that it's something that will kind of complete maybe at week 12, and then you can kind of go back and just keep working through it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I just love the idea of having a format where the
Okay, did I freeze or did she freeze? There you go. Keep talking.
okay.
We hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so in the first 4 weeks, which what I would call the first module,
Mm-hmm.
there's a 5 minute meditation, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's 5 minutes of journaling, and then
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes of an evening reflection. So
Mm-hmm.
that's 15 minutes a day. And that's the key is you can start this process in 15 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get to week 5, there's a new meditation that presents itself, and that one's 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the goal is to do 10 minutes of journaling. And so then we increase your daily practice to 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like that was a really nice way to slowly build again that communion with the self, to
Mm-hmm.
slowly increase the tolerance of being able to sit or to be in self devotion in whatever way we choose, is to kind of do it incrementally.
Mm-hmm.
And that also came from me working with people who just really have who've expressed trouble with making time to do these
Mm-hmm.
things, making
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like to start with just 5 minutes, is so much more empowering to get that 5 minutes in than to say, I'm going to start a meditation practice and it's a 30-minute practice and then you don't get it in and then it feels like you're a failure. Like, because oftentimes
Mm-hmm.
that's what happens. We try to start something new and it's like, oh, I'm no good at this,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it would be wonderful just to build it out in a way where we can slowly build that communion with ourselves over time and then feel the empowerment that comes along with spending more and more time, with
Yes.
ourselves and with the divine.
Yes. Yes. And I'm looking at this where you have the mantra, all the feels, a list of words to help you better describe your feelings during your daily journaling exercises and in your everyday life. All the feels. Um, tell me about the a mantra, because like even in your bio, it's like
Hmm.
you're the founder of a mantra. What is a mantra?
So a mantra is a wellness company that I created. It's an LLC. And one of the reasons why I created it was because I had been kind of operating as this sole proprietor doing the work in the rehabs and in the hospitals. And it's just not sustainable to do that kind of work forever, right? At year 18 of being
Mm-hmm.
a clinician, you kind of get burnt out and exhausted. And I knew that I needed to create a more sustainable way to be in
Mm-hmm.
service for my own mental health, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I knew that by creating a company, it would allow me to be able to do things like this, right? Write books,
Mm-hmm.
create programs,
Mm-hmm.
eventually do trainings, where then I'm sending other people to do the work and training other people to do the work
Mm-hmm.
without it needing to just have to be me.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so the company was really a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
in a house to build, right? To house the creations, the things that
Mm-hmm.
I create.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would just be more sustainable and allow me to scale and diversify,
Mm-hmm.
in ways that I just couldn't as an independent contractor, you know.
Mm-hmm. Not
And
even
it's
with the not even with the Schedule C. Keep moving. Keep it moving. Keep
Lord,
it moving. Keep
I'm
it
about to
moving.
create I'm about to get some PTSD talking about tax terms up in here. I broke into a sweat when you said Schedule C.
Well, the good thing about we won't get into the business of LLCs, but the good thing about having a certain type of organization in your a certain kind of organization about your business allows it to flow better, and then you have these containers that are already in place, so that
Mhm.
as the abundance begins to flow in, you're not wondering where to put it, so that Uncle Sam ain't taking everything. It's like, no, all of this goes into my work
Right.
to support what it is that I do. And so good for you. Congratulations on your
Beautifully said.
LLC. Congratulations on your beautiful book. Today I received a call from a wonderful woman. Her name is Diane Cerencioni. And Diane
Mm.
Cerencioni is married to, well, she was married to him. He passed on, but his name was Gerald Jampolsky. And Gerald Jampolsky and Diane they were just the lovebirds that, like I've known some people who just loved each other in a holy, holy way. They Jerry was older than Diane, uh, probably by about, I won't say Diane, but at least 15 years. But man, he was so wonderful, and I met them the first time I met them. That I remember walking so closely with them. We were in Bali, and in Bali, flowers are everywhere, and flower arrangements are beautiful. Like you can have flowers like this, like these roses, but when the roses get to be like this, they don't throw when they begin to lean over, they don't throw them away. They take the petals apart and put them in water and create all
Mm.
kinds of beautiful flower designs in water. And it's a beautiful thing. They're not throwing away something just because it looks like it's not young anymore, you
Right.
know.
Mm.
And sometimes in society we do that. We throw, I mean, especially over here in America, even the way we throw away food, we throw it away, and food is going to be the answer to how we replenish the earth, is by
Mhm.
putting the food back into the earth. The old food, the food that we didn't eat, put it back into the earth, and it enriches the soil. But but
Mhm.
um but Jerry and Diane had they built a company, a business, an institute called Attitudinal Healing, and they
Mm.
had attitudinal healing centers all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah, they had them in in California, up in Northern California. You could find them, and it was just like their work was really good, creating positive relationships. This is Jerry's book, and Jerry and Diane. Love is letting go of fear. And if you've never read this book, it's so good.
Mm.
It's such a good book. But in talking to Diane this morning, we were just reflecting on Jerry, and she said the love and the simplicity of him, the love and simplicity of him.
Mm.
The way she said it, you know, it was just like you could feel the love, and she spoke highly of the songs and the music that she says your music is like that. She says when you play, everybody can feel your heart. They can feel
Yes.
you. And I don't know how. I think the only way that happens with anybody is that there is no agenda
Hmm.
that has another plan.
Right.
Like my plan is to sell some records. No, I'm playing. I mean, it's really nice to sell records. It's nice to sell books. It's
Hmm.
nice to make money. It's nice to be prosperous in that way, you know. But before that agenda slips in, or even that grace, because that's a great thing that can happen. What you are doing, Stacie, is showing people how to heal.
Mm.
You know, how to heal their thought about themselves.
Hmm.
You know, how to heal your thought about yourself. Because if you think a lie about yourself, it acts like the truth.
Yes.
And you've seen a whole lot of people with a lot of demons,
Hmm.
and you've walked
Yep.
them through, you know. Tell me, can you share with us um, a talk somebody off of a ledge story that ends so triumphantly that it looms large in your mind?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I mean, I feel like I've experienced that more in my personal life than my clinical life.
Oh, you know what, Stacie? I bet,
Interestingly
I
enough.
bet, I bet you've helped a whole lot of people line up, you know, to align, like to get in a spiritual alignment. I bet
Hmm.
you've done it. You have a great humility, and so you might not be able to own it yet. You know what I'm saying? It
Yes.
take, you don't have to. I'm just saying that you have. In your work, that's why you have been so commended by the people who've watched you work. That's how you got your master's. You know, is that you proved your work was good.
Yeah, and thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is yeah.
and I think the biggest things that I really see in terms of the ledge moments, what I love is when the light comes on in someone's eyes.
Mhm.
And that's something I got to see a lot in those treatment centers because people come in very downtrodden. They come in heavy laden, right, with their neuroses and their addictions. And really underneath it all, it's just all trauma, right? It's trauma that's manifesting with these symptoms and these side effects.
Mhm.
So what I do as soon as someone comes into the room in a therapy group is I begin to intentionally speak into what's underneath that trauma, what we're talking about, the truth of who you are. That, what we hear, you've never been hurt, harmed, or endangered, right? There's the part of you that is whole and complete. And this experience is simply covering that temporarily. So I don't speak to the experience or the condition, I speak to the person
Mhm.
who's in the soul. And I do
Mhm.
that through music because I'm a music therapist. So I sing. First thing that happens when you get in my group is I'm singing. We're singing,
Mhm.
right? Because you know why? Because
Mhm.
the songs and the music does that Albert Einstein thing where we can't solve a problem on the same level of consciousness in which it was created. So the
Mhm.
music brings us out of that mental construct. So
Mhm.
I think what I really love is week after week seeing the transformation happen when I have clients and I have a group or I have even individual clients and just watching something turn on, watching that remembrance or that realization. And I just really see myself as the facilitator of that. Like I think one of the hardest things I've had to learn in my life is that I can't save people. I can't really do that. And, I learned that the hard way. I had a personal experience with my own father where that was always what I was trying to do because he
Mhm.
struggled with substance abuse.
Mhm.
So that that wiring as a child to just try and save him from his fate, essentially, because that's what happened. He did wind up passing because of the substance abuse.
Mhm.
Um, that was one of the hardest things that I still deal with is just remembering that even though I'm in this position to support people and to
Mhm.
facilitate processes, that ultimately at the end of the day, that I'm not able to get involved with that destiny, right, of what that soul came here to do and learn and experience. And I think that also keeps the humility, right, because I know I'm not there for that. I'm not there to change anything, I'm just there to facilitate the remembrance.
Mhm. Mhm. Mm. So is you just kind of removing what's not real so that the real can shine. or
Yeah.
maybe helping them to see it. Have you done much work with neuro linguistic programming, NLP?
I have worked alongside neuro linguistic programmers in the trauma centers that I work with, and typically we work as a multidisciplinary team. So they'll do
Mhm.
music therapy with me, and then they'll do NLP, and and I've heard amazing things about it. I have not had the personal experience with it, but
It's
I've heard
an
incredible
well, I know some bad NLP pioneers.
things.
Here's a shout out to Robert D. McDonald and Luzette McDonald, his wife, and his work. Uh, and he used to do workshops back at the old place where I worked called Agape. I got to laugh because that's funny. But it was the old place I used to be at. But Robert D. McDonald would do workshops from time to time. And I don't, I'm not one for workshops per se, because most of them move too slow for me. The timing, not that I'm that fast, it's just that sometimes when people go like, well, you gotta do this, I'm not good. You gotta talk a little faster like Stacie does. So anyway, but Robert has one of those Academy Award winning voices, and he talks like this, and very, very beautiful man. And he taught, uh, he did, and he did a process on a Friday night, and we had a good number of people that showed up, and he had us identify a person in our life that was a problem when we were children, when we were a child, that person that was a problem, and that still, because of the programming that was set in place by that person,
Hmm.
it's kind of like a subliminal program that keeps going on and on and on, that so you keep facing the same situations or choosing the same kinds of people to be with, or you find yourself in the same kind of circumstances because you haven't healed this thought about yourself
Hmm.
that that is covering up the truth of who you really are, for want of a better way to put it. And he had this exercise where we started as these little children, and she's real big. In my case, it was an aunt of mine, and she was real tall. And here's little Rickie, and here's this big menacing, guardian, and all the things that she would do, you know,
Hmm.
and what that makes you feel like. And you know my recall of this is butchering it, so I'm sorry, Robert, if you're listening to this and feeling like, what is she talking about? But his process grew you up. Now you're 8 years old. You're not 4 anymore. Now you're 12 years old, and the person that was way up here, the distance between you and that person is getting to be less and less. And then finally you're here face, you guys are like this, and now you're here and they're here in the process. His
Hmm.
work was that when you're a little kid, the adult is like God.
Hmm.
The adult is like a God to you because they're there, they're bigger. They're bigger, they're stronger, and so you got a little kid that's really rambunctious and hitting back. That's a strong human being, like my grandson.
Hmm.
you know, he, but he stands his ground, baby. Why can't I hear my playlist? you know, I'm going like, I shouldn't have. Yeah, I did. It wasn't no playlist with Aunt Willie. The playlist was going to be like, pop, pop. And so he led the process until finally you were grown,
Hmm.
and now you can decide for yourself.
Yeah.
You can really make a better choice, a higher choice. It was just really a deep healing happened in me that night, just from growing, just from his process of visualization, helping you to see yourself as a youngster, and come up, you know, and grow up. And when we grow up and glow up, it's like you don't feel like you want to throw up sometimes.
Right.
I couldn't resist it.
I
But you
love
know,
it.
so so are you saying then that music is like your first card with your group, the groups that you
Always.
work with? So well then why you don't
Everything.
have music in here as a thing?
Well, guess
I
what?
see I
The
see breath
meditations
work.
are music.
I see the walking. Okay, so music meditation is in music is going to be there.
The
I'm telling you, I don't see.
meditations are anchored with live guitar. So every meditation has guitar with it. And then when you get towards the end of the book, the idea is that with all of the alignment and all of the self-devotion, that there is an awakening of creativity that is a result of that, right?
So
So
is there a playlist that we go to for the meditations that you have?
there's a QR code right on the meditation page. On each meditation page, there's a
Wow, you
code
hear that? Come
that you
on
can
now.
scan with your phone, and it takes you to a live meaning it was recorded with live guitar meditation with me guiding it.
Wow,
So
that's
it's a
really
musical
great.
thing.
Wow,
Hmm.
I'm going like she got all this. She ain't got no music in her. This is
It's
fantastic.
always got to be some music. I've always got to sneak that in some kind of way.
Yeah, and she calls it self devotion. I think that's so cute. So she says 5 areas of devotion: self devotion, meditation. Each day you will practice the activation of your awareness, cultivation of your of inner stillness, and observation of your thoughts with curiosity and compassion. So you're gonna be sitting there, but you're not gonna be like, my mind's supposed to be still.
Right.
You're gonna learn.
Just listen to the guitar.
You're gonna learn to love your madness. As you gain more dominion over your mind, you will gain more dominion over your thoughts. And then she's got journaling after your meditation, and then movement. Oh, she's got you moving for 20 minutes or more a day. She says that movement releases tension and stress and increases serotonin levels in the brain, thus boosting your mood. Wow.
Hmm.
And this reminds me of John Caesar. Movement can include exercises such as yoga, walking, dancing, or hiking. He's always talking about moving. Nourishment as a practice. Daily nourishment provides sustenance, promotes harmony. So she's got these 5 areas of devotion. She calls it self devotion, of giving to yourself,
Yes.
of giving to yourself. Create your own devotion. See, when I think of devotion, all I think about is God.
Hmm.
All I think about is God. So when I see self devotion, I got to open up my brain a little bit to see how what that means for me. Create
Hmm.
your own devotion. Ask yourself what sparks your create. See, I'm dull. What sparks your creativity? God. But what really sparks your creativity? Sharing. What sparks your creativity? Let's put it in the in the chat. What are some things that spark your creativity?
Hmm.
This is a chance to discover other ways to shower yourself with devotion and fill up each day. So your devotion, I feel like your word devotion, is it is it is another word for devotion love,
Yes. Yes,
like
and I can tell you
self-love?
exactly how I came up with that. So this is the personal part of the workbook. So we
Okay.
talked about the clinical, and I was hoping we would get to this part because this is how these self-devotional practices came to be. So it was 2020. So you already know it was a story, right? Because everybody know what was going on in 2020.
The
And
worst.
right. And I was, for the most part, convinced that I had treated and cured and healed my core wound of abandonment. That was my lie, right? That I've
Yeah.
carried my whole life is this experience of abandonment, emotional abandonment, and
Mhm.
been to therapy for it, etc. And in that year, I was in a relationship right at the same time that my father passed away. And then that relationship began to shift. And the combination of the two things created this reenactment of this abandonment trauma, and it took me into a trauma response, and my body went into like what, basically a freeze mode. And I just happened to be in a trauma training as a therapist. And one of the things they were talking about was that when we treat trauma in patients, we help them to create a list of resources. And on that resource list, those would be all the things that help them to feel connected to themselves and to be stabilized. And I said, well, maybe I should create a list for myself because I'm in a full-blown trauma response right now. I need to stabilize myself.
Mhm.
I also realized that I had been projecting my needs outside of myself. That was part of what kept perpetuating that pattern of abandonment because I was projecting the need to be loved, right? The need to be cared for, the need to be adored and cherished, unconsciously projecting that onto people that I would meet.
Mhm.
Hence the title, Choose Yourself, right?
Mhm.
Instead of waiting for someone to choose you.
Mhm.
So the self-devotion came from me realizing that I have to give myself the love that I have been unconsciously placing outside of myself, expecting someone else to give that to me. So the
Mhm.
practices became very specifically connected to meeting the core need of being loved and feeling loved and craving
Mhm.
devotion. I had always craved a kind of relationship where a devotion and connect and that type of attunement was part of it, which is pretty common for a child who has an alcoholic parent, actually, right?
Mhm.
Because that's one of those things you don't really get is to be attuned to.
Mhm.
So the self-devotion came really from me having to bring myself back from the brink, talking about somebody being on the brink, me
Mhm.
having to bring myself from the brink by giving and reparenting and refathering
Mhm.
myself and
Mhm.
showering myself with practices that helped me to feel loved. And
Mhm.
that is what really turned everything around for me. That was what I
Mhm.
had always been missing.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah, well, you got it all now, baby. You know. Does it ever tap you on the shoulder sometime and go like, uh, boom, 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 and you go like, get away from me. Does it ever visit you, the old
Oh,
patterns?
absolutely. Well, because
Mhm.
I'm in a relationship and so it's a constant, every now and then I'll be reminded of that experience or that wound. And
Mhm.
what's great is because I'm in a relationship that continually kind of triggers it, right? Because that's what relationships do. I get to see how each time I'm different, right? I
Mhm.
don't react. I've gotten deeper into the self-devotion and this self connection and this connection to the divine that I don't really make other people my ground anymore,
Mhm.
right? I don't.
Mhm.
So he's not. So it's not as heavy because I'm not projecting all of that onto that person. But
Mhm.
yes, every now and then things will happen, and then I'll get to reapproach that wound again and say, oh, okay, with
Mhm.
compassion, you're having an experience, but not the experience you had last year or 6 months,
Mhm.
or 2 years
Mhm.
ago.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm with a person who is a constant mirror,
Mhm.
which reminds me of the growth that's happening in real time, all the time.
Mhm. Oh, that's beautiful, and congratulations. You know,
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad it's still going good for you. You know, and that you have a beautiful friendship. Hmm. Hmm.
Absolutely. I'm so,
Yeah.
so, so very grateful. What does tap me on the shoulder, though, is these self-devotional practices because I can slip out of them so easily when I get busy.
Hmm.
And I think that's what also helps understand just how
Hmm.
challenging it is sometimes to really put a self-care practice in place because
Hmm.
it's not a one-time thing. It's not like, okay,
Hmm.
I do these things and I have to remind myself constantly,
Hmm.
and check in. And then sometimes it'll go
Hmm.
past me. It'll be 2 weeks, and I realize that I haven't taken an artist day, which
Hmm. Hmm.
used to be a weekly thing for me. That's Julia Cameron's from the Artist Way. She suggests that everybody go out and take a day to just explore, go to a new place, go on a solo date.
Hmm.
So those became my dates with the divine. and
Mm-hmm.
did those for years. And that's what sparks my creativity, by the way, is adventuring, wandering, exploring, being
Mm-hmm.
divine. That's what really sparks my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So
Being with God.
I
So,
have to
so,
just
so,
remember to do that.
well, Maxine says love and connection sparks her creativity.
Mm.
And Taliba says, when I remind myself who I really am, this sparks my creativity. Yeah. And Yolanda is really enjoying it. We are all enjoying you, Stacie. I think it's time for a song. What about y'all?
Yes,
We're gonna do your top 10 hit. You want to do I Walk in the Love of God? Or do
sure.
you want to do In a Simple Way? What song would you choose if you were choosing heaven today? What song would you choose to sing?
I think based upon that story, that very inspiring story you told about how the woman you were mentioning who wrote the book talked about that love being simple. I think that's a
Hmm.
good one for me today to just remind myself that spirit moves in a simple way,
It really
always.
does. It's oh my gosh. And let's sing this song, and then I want to talk about the power for me, the importance of a book like this for me at this time in my life. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
But first, we're gonna have the behind the beat singing Stacie.
It moves in a whole life, in a song of love, in a simple way. It reaches like a guiding hand in a heart that truly understands. It heals like a salve of compassion, like a comforter in a simple way. Still God me, it ain't complicated. Yeah, it moves in a simple way.
It
It
moves
moves
in a
in a
simple way.
simple way.
It
It
moves
moves
in a
in a
simple way.
simple way.
It
It
moves
moves
in a
in a
simple way.
simple way.
God
It
moves
moves
in a
in a
simple
simple
way.
way.
Yes. It moves in a point of light, in a song of love, in a simple way. It reaches like a guiding hand in a heart that truly understands. It heals, go on, Stacie, like a salve
It
of
heals
compassion.
in a simple way. See the God in me, it ain't complicated. It moves in a simple way.
I love the
It
way she sings
moves
this song.
in a
Simple
simple
way,
way.
it
It
moves
moves
in a simple
in a
way.
simple way.
Yeah,
It
yeah. Love
moves
moves
in a simple
in a simple
way.
way.
It moves in a simple way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And what I was reflecting on before we went into the song was how, you can have a practice. Like when I was about your age, uh, I had a regiment of how I did what I did. I had dogs that I would walk in the morning.
Mm.
I had uh, things that I was doing that had me on a schedule.
Mhm.
I had a job or a position. I put that way. My second husband was like, "You don't want a job, you want a position." Third husband gave him a position. So anyway, so you say I had a position, and as a music and arts director, and I would create. So much sparked my creativity because I was in a very fertile field for the kind of creative being that I am, and so I was able to write all the time and create and do all kinds of things. And in order to do that kind of stuff, you have meetings, you have things that you have to. You're called here, you're called there. There's just a certain regimen, and then it was like uh, it was very efficient, and I had people to help me do a lot of things too. At this time in my life, I wake up and I'm in the bed, and ideas are going through my head, and something says get out the bed, but I don't. I don't. I stay there a little while longer, and 50 million ingenious things come into my mind of what I could do to better it a whole bunch of stuff in the world. And that ain't enough to get me up. And eventually, I remember a hack that I got, and I shared this before. That I got one night listening to this Candice. I forget her last name, but her name is Candice. And Candice uh, had something brilliant. She says, and she got it, I believe, from the teachings of Abdullah. So anyway, she said, wouldn't it be nice if I could do this? And if you say, wouldn't it be nice if I could get out of this bed? Then your imagination begins to work for you and says, this is the way
Mhm.
you'll do it, But it's just like, wouldn't it be nice? It's something simple as that. And so now that's what I do. I go like, wouldn't it be nice if I could just pull myself out of this bed and get on with my meditation and all the things that I need to do? Bam! I mean, no time. I'm out the bed.
Wow.
I'm out the bed. It's like, because when you get older, that sense of scheduling, timing, and things that you have to do, it's kind of like, I'm not doing that right now.
Hmm.
I don't want to do that right now. I don't feel like doing sit-ups right now. You know, you'll choose
Yeah.
something else, but you won't choose this thing. And meditation, not just meditation practice, because now you'd be proud of me. I use Siri to help me meditate.
Oh,
How about that?
I love it. Do you say, "Hey Siri, find me a meditation"? Did
No,
you
no,
just give it a command?
I don't even need music or anything. I heard it say, if somebody tells me something and they say it the right way and I can believe it, I will do it unchallenged, unchallenged.
Mm.
And I heard a
Hmm.
great teacher
Hmm.
say between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. are the best times to meditate. He says,
Mm.
do 30 minutes in the dark, in a dark room, and just do 30 minutes before the sun rises, or you can. Now, you don't have to do it like that. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to, but I started like that. And I try to do it. And when I'm not able to do it that way, I do it my way, as that, as I still do my 30 minutes. I just might not do it in a dark room. Maybe the sun is rising now. But what I do is say, Siri, set my timer for 30 minutes. But I don't say it when I first sit down. And and, and
Mm.
and and I'm sitting down with my legs crossed. And that's something that I never like to do, because I'm not like with the lotus and all of that. My body, it didn't come to
Right.
do that. But I can cross my legs now,
Mine
sit on
either.
the pillow. I can sit, I can cross them comfortably. And then if it gets if it gets uncomfortable, I just stretch my legs out and love them and allow myself to stay in my stillness, not to break it just because I stretch my legs out. God don't care about that. That's something man made up. It's like a woman, it's like, no, God loves me. God loves me. God loves it. I'm taking the time to be here in this silence,
Yes.
so, but so first I get comfortable. I don't start it and then start stretching and scratching and everything. It's like I do all of that. And once I'm cool, I was like, Siri, set my timer for 30 minutes. Timer set for 30 minutes.
Oh, I love that.
And it's funny when it goes off, it feels like sometimes I set 5 minutes more longer. But not having to set my clock for it has helped me so much. Because that used to stop me. I got to find my phone so that I get my 30 minutes in. I got to find my phone so I get my 5 minutes in from my 10 minutes. Where's my phone? Siri, where are you? It's like now I can't find my phone. Those are the things that plague you when you get older, So now, I'm using it to really help me as an aid, as an aid. And I'm finding that I don't, because I used to need the sound of auras. Now it's not even that anymore. It's like, it's just silence. Just silence. And I do have a Bible practice too that I read. I read other books, but I do read the sacred scriptures too. And I listen to B radio. So all of that is part of my spiritual practice.
Yes.
So B radio is good. When I go on B radio and I hear you talking about February, I was like, look at that.
That's right. That song's on there.
Yeah, it is. bradio.org. Yeah. So if there's anything that we can say is get this book, choose yourself. Choose yourself. Don't be waiting for somebody else to choose you. Hey, God's already chosen you, but you don't even feel that sometimes. So now you got to choose yourself. You got to choose yourself and say, hey, I'm going to take the time to be good to myself. She calls it self-devotion. It's very, very, very beautiful what you've done here. And we're so proud of you, Stacie.
Thank you so much, Rickie.
What? So Sue is showing showing you looking cute in your little red dress. Tell us what's happening here.
Well, this was my sister, my amazing sister, who has just steeped in community of powerful women. She gifted me with her home and doing this launch party with her community. And so this is from that. And I'm just so grateful that she just supported me in that way. This has been a huge community effort with this workbook, as of course that's your language, Rickie, is community. And for me, that's something I'm still learning how to reach out. So I've been in a beautiful learning process here of letting people know and just allowing community to support me and to support the work. Yeah,
so I think you said. I think you said something. I think you said something earlier about. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're getting to the end. but you said something earlier about not having a certain kind of support behind you. Remember we were talking about that?
No budget for the marketing, no marketing machines, no teams, none of those kinds of things. It's been. I mean, the workbook is also self-funded in terms of the creation of it. All of it came from, the revenue that I brought in from working in the treatment centers and private practice. So yes, that's been a beautiful learning experience for me. Something that you said, where it's like you were like, you got what you need. It's all, it's all here. So that's what I'm learning.
We love you. Everybody on this thread is going to get the book. Isn't that right, Marie? Marie's going to get it. Maxine's going to get it. Sue's going to get it. Marcus, you're going to get it, Marcus. Kathy she's going to get it. So everybody's going to buy the book, and that's going to be good for you, and that's going to be good for us. If it's going to be very good for us, and we are very proud to have you stretch like this. And she's got all these things behind her name: MAMT-BC-AVPT. She got everything but B Hood. You need to do this cover again and put B Hood on it. You'll sell more books that way.
I would. I believe that.
Here's a short story. When I was doing Let My Soul Surrender, you know, I asked Michael Beckwith to write the foreword. And I had to
Hmm.
think about that. I thought long and hard about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ask Michael if he'll write the foreword. And he was like, of course, I'll write it. And then he asked me, because the book was a pictorial, if you don't have the book, why you don't have that book?
I
That's
got
a
two
good,
copies.
that's a great book, man. Those stories begin to take, they become something greater in time. I think Sue was telling me she picked up the book and it meant a little bit more. So than it did before. And so
Mm.
anyway, so, but it was my first book, right? And so he says, well, are you going to put my picture on the foreword? And I'm thinking, and I was like, no, I don't want, I don't want the first person's picture to be seen in my book to be you. And he said these magic words, couldn't help. It couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt. And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, you know, fast forward, and I'm in Vegas getting a bookstore to take my books, inviting them to take. So they took like 5 books because you have to go around and you think they're going to take 20. They don't take 5, they take 2 here, 1 there. Bookstores don't buy a lot of books. But I was gangster. I was calling up bookstores. I was selling a box of books to. I was boom, boom, boom. I was working with what I had.
Mm.
I was my own promotions team. I was doing it. I was using the leverage that I had with my friends and saying,
Mm.
"Boom, would you do this? Would you do that?" I was in Las Vegas and I was in there when this lady opened up that book. She said, "Oh, what is this? You promoting this book?" Oh. And she opened a book and the first picture she saw was Michael. She's like, "Oh, there he is. I'll buy this book." I was like, "Well, hallelujah." I was like, it didn't hurt.
It hurt.
you know, and it's not that I needed it, but it was good. It's like, so you got friends here and allow
Mm.
us to support you. And we're going to do a book party for Stacie at the house. We don't know when we're going to do it, maybe in May, and we can do it there. Or,
Mm.
I mean, she don't come to the B Hood no more, but one day she's going to come back to the B Hood and maybe we can have the book during one of our the house party. Because see, we've changed the name to the B Hood Sunday Devotional and House Party.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bumping at the B Hood. Get back in, get into the thread, Sue. We need you. Oh, Sue's got me on the Sue's got me on duty.
Oh, this looks
But
nice.
before Sue gets back in, this is the spring revival that I'm doing at Lake Junaluska, North Carolina. This is happening April 12th through 14th. Georgia, this is an old poster. Georgia Ann Muldrow is going to be there. Reese Whitaker is coming. Rob McDonald, Quinn Fontaine, John Stringer, great singer, and who else is going to be there? You. I mean, we have quite a few people. Many people in this thread are coming, and others
Mm.
are trying to make up their mind whether they can afford to come or not. Hey, read Reverend Dyke's book and come on. If you want to get inspired and know that you can do something, pick up Reverend Ike's book, An Extraordinary Life. That book will inspire you to do everything. It will let you know that the thought in your head that you can't go is just the thought in your head. Think that you can do it. Write it down. Say, I want to go. Say, I want to go, and make plans to join us. They got a payment plan that you can come on. You can set the payments up. They got all kinds of ways. So come on, we're going to be rocking. I'm telling you, the Soul Train in the Blue Ridge is going to be the mountain won't. Rob McDonald said on Sunday, it's going to be a rumble in the mountain because we're going to be jamming in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got to come join us, Stacie. You know you want to come.
I would love to come. I've never been to the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I've just heard so many beautiful things about it. And then you're gonna be there. And the last time I hung out with y'all in Hawaii, it was like
Yeah.
the time of my life, and
Yeah.
and
Well, some
set forth so much change.
well, some of those same people, I don't know if Joanne, I don't see Joanne on the thread tonight, but Joanne, remember the bald head ladies from Carolina?
Yes.
Joanne and
Oh, they were
Odessa
great.
and
Yes.
Sherelle, they're all going to be there. They're all coming. So we have people coming,
Mm.
and it's going to be a revival. It's going to be a revival. Reviving your spirit. We are walking with God in a holy, holy way. And it's amazing. So I hope you'll be able to make it. And here we got Sue, who can speak for herself. You got to unmute, Sue. You got to unmute. We can't hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the first time. So come on over to that revival, because those mountains are going to be shaking. They're going to be rocking. I already have my suitcase out. I'm already getting packed. And it's only 5 weeks away.
Oh my
Only.
God.
Wow. Only 5 minutes.
Yes. Sue's going to be there. Marion is coming. Kathy O, she's here. Marcus Huffman is coming. Let's see.
Maxine.
Marie, are you coming? Maxine's coming. Marion's coming. Taliba is coming. Deanna's thinking about it. Come on, Deanna. You need to come on, Yolanda. We're on the East Coast. All y'all East Coast people need to show up. Alima. Yeah, everybody, come on. Even if you're in the Midwest, just come on. Yeah, I know. We know about planes and fares and everything. This is going to be worth that journey. And don't worry about it. Can't make this one, you'll make the next one. But all the people that missed the first Raj, it was
the first Raj.
the first Raj. You know what I mean?
Oh, the first Raj. I have the best memories of being on stage with David Pramal and the lights. You remember you had this hologram light on the rocks?
Yeah,
we had show happening on the rocks.
Oh, we were showing out.
Oh,
we were showing out with the choir on the stage. Oh,
yes.
Oh, that was amazing. And it won't have
peak memory.
Yeah, it's peak. And it's gonna be peak. It's gonna be peak April 12th through 14th, because that's the way we roll. And so I invite you to choose yourself, and come choose yourself more. Choose, I choose heaven. When you choose in heaven, you're choosing the God in you, and let God in you have full sway.
Yes.
And say, thank you, God. Rest in God. And say amen. Rest in God. And say amen. And hey, come and join us. It's going to be so great. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I hope I got to see everybody's name. Sometimes after the program is over, I'm going like, wow, Mary Monroe. I'm so glad that you could be on with us tonight, and others, Megan Pater, so many folks. Just thank you for coming. And those of you who join later on, I want you to meet my friend. This is Stacie Aamon-Yeldell. Her book is tremendous. Choose Yourself. Check it out. Order it. I believe it's available through Amazon. I don't know if it's available through what's the name of that other, my favorite? I can't even think about it. I can't even remember it. But there's another bookstore that I use often, but for sure it's on Amazon and you can get it. Choose Yourself. A 12-week journey to becoming the God of your own heart. Yeah, we love you so much, Stacie.
Oh, I love you. And thank you so much for this. And thank you to the community for your support as well. And this was just so much fun, Rickie, but it always is with you. So thank you for making my day.
Hey, you're welcome. And may all be blessed and may all find the way to love. Peace.
Peace.
Let our joy be so triumphant that we reign.